So let's talk about lump charcoal versus briquettes. Lump charcoal is charcoal. When people talk about charcoal, they're talking about briquettes sometimes, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Briquettes are a manufactured product. Okay, lump charcoal is nothing but the wood cooked down, basically a process called pyrolysis, where you cook out all the tars, the liquors, the moisture, the wood fiber, so that you're left with as little as possible left, and it's just carbon. And I'll explain later how it gets to that. But so it starts with nothing but wood. And whereas the briquettes, they do have some lump charcoal fines in them, the stuff that's too small to be bagged, the 3/4 inch minus, that kind of thing. Sometimes companies sell that to briquetting companies or pellets companies. I prefer to see that go for agricultural purposes, but the lump charcoal fines are an ingredient. They use, you'll see in the ingredients, mineral char, which is anthracite, which is coal from the ground. It's the coal fly ash, comes out of power plants. That stuff can have sulfur, it can have all kinds of nasty stuff, but it has a very high BTU rating, and it's cheap. So they put that in there. Limestone is a big thing that goes into briquettes. They say it's because the limestone turns the briquette gray when it's time to cook on it. I know when it's time to cook on it. It's hot. You don't need to put a bunch of limestone in there to weigh the bag down and then, claim it's for something else. And then there's borax in there, which needs to be in there to get it to release from the press. And then there's a starch binder in there. There can be sodium nitrate. There can be potassium nitrate. Something else is a lighting aid. There can be petroleum byproduct in there to get them to light off if it's the match light ones. There can be all kinds of crap in there. I'm sure there's a few things that I'm forgetting about. But sawdust, and it could be softwood sawdust, it could be hardwood sawdust, who knows. But it's I heard somebody call it once the hot dog, the cheap hot dog of the charcoal industry, because basically it's like they said in that one movie, the lips and asshole. It's all no one else. What was that? Great Outdoors with John Candy.
Yes,
that was a great movie. Yeah. So, and what it was, the briquette was not invented by Henry Ford, but it was popularized by Henry Ford. He was the guy that had all this sawdust left over from the Model T assembly line and said, I got to get rid of this. So he partnered with his cousin, E.G. Kingsford, who owned all the land up there in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, where they got the wood for the Model Ts. And they developed this briquette, and they sold it as camping fuel and shipped it in the trunks of the Model Ts with a little stove in the back, or a little grill. And it came in a box. It came in a square box, and it had the Ford blue oval on the side of this box. And that was that's how briquettes got their start. And I think they have a place in the industry. I do, but for fine cooking, what we're doing, you're cooking with something that is a very synthetic product, and it can have a lot of different flavors in it, and it can have a lot of different BTUs. Usually the BTU is somewhere around 7,000 to 8,000 BTU per pound. Some brands are higher, some are lower. It just kind of depends on which one you get, when you get it. But good lump charcoal, and we'll talk about that more, is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 12,000 BTU per pound, at least.
Hey, will you repeat that? Because you timed out just a little bit right as you were saying the BTU on the briquette.
Briquettes, they can be anywhere between 7,000, 8,000, maybe 9,000 BTU per pound. It depends on the brand. It depends on how much limestone they've got in them. Mm-hmm. Good lump charcoal, our stuff is going to be somewhere north or toward 12,000 BTU per pound.